So, Aiden and I just saw Detective Pikachu, and Aiden, what did you think of Detective Pikachu? So, apologies that my eye looks terrible and that I might be all over the place in this video. I have horrible allergies right now, and I just can't contain them, so yeah. Tonight I saw Detective Pikachu with my friend Aiden. I'll let you guys know before this review starts that I am not a fan of Pokemon. This is not a series I'm invested in or anything like that. When I was younger, I owned a few cards. I watched, like, one of the movies, and I saw a few of the episodes on TV. That is basically... Oh, and I owned a book. That is my history with Pokemon, though. I think the concept's kind of cool. I'm just not a fan of this. I was never invested in it. I was still kind of intrigued to see this movie, though, just because I was interested in seeing how, you know, taking this franchise and putting it to live action would look, and it looked kind of interesting, I'll put it that way. I think that trying to make the Pokemons look really realistic did not necessarily work in this movie. For some of the Pokemons it worked, for some of them it didn't. But yeah, as far as my thoughts on this film go, I thought it was okay. It was kind of like, you know, right in the middle almost for me. I was entertained for the majority of the film. I definitely just wouldn't call this movie great or anything like that. It was not a great movie. There was a lot of things I thought were really bad in it. And there was a few things that I thought were pretty good. Like, this is an enjoyable movie that I felt entertained. You know, I enjoyed my hour and 40 minutes watching this film. Yeah, I mean, I think Aiden actually has, like, the exact same thoughts with me on this movie. We have the exact same rating and everything. I'll get onto that later. But, yeah, I'll start off by saying that the people in the theater were very interesting. There's a lot of people that were just, like, crying whenever a Pokemon would come on screen, and they were just like, oh, it's so cute. It was, like, a little bit annoying. I mean, yeah, I know I get excited when I'm, like, watching Avengers in theaters, but I'm not, like, crying or, like, cheering when I see Captain America walk on screen for, like, the 50th time in the film. Like, I'm not like that. These people were like, you see a Pokemon in the distance, and they're like, I know that character. Like, I'm not like that kind of person when it comes to franchises that I care for. So it got kind of annoying, but I got used to it for, like, after a while. So the story in this movie is pretty basic. You have this character played by Justice Smith, whose father has gone missing, and you know, he's working together with with Pikachu because these two can actually understand each other. This is not normal. You know, people cannot hear Pikachu or Pokemons speaking English, so it's kind of like this big, like, phenomenon, and him and Pikachu are working together to kind of solve this mystery. My nose is really running right now, I apologize, but yeah, that's kind of the story to this movie, and the characters in this film weren't that good in my opinion. Justice Smith was not the best in this movie at all. There was a few times where I just thought his acting was kind of all over the place. Like, you know, in some of the emotional scenes he did a good job, but then there's other times in emotional scenes where he just wasn't good. Like, when he was pretending to be angry, it just seemed kind of, like, off, and, like, his introduction scene was terrible. Same with the female character, whose name I can't remember. She was just really bad in this movie. I did not like her character at all. She was kind of just, like, there. And as far as the whole detective work goes in this movie, didn't do much for me. It kind of felt like they were just being spoon-fed the information. So it wasn't like they were actually unraveling this mystery by themselves. They were kind of just like, okay, here's the information. Here's the main villain, who, by the way, is not good. I'll get to him later. Just telling you his plan. Like, I don't know. It just felt really cliche, and I felt like they were just spoon-feeding the characters and the audience the answers to all these questions in, like, the last 10 minutes of the movie. Like, I would have much rather had it, like, occurred, you know, over the history of the film rather than just, like, in the last 10 minutes. Like, here's the answer to every single subplot. Yeah, the villain in this movie is bad. His plan is stupid. The final act of this movie is honestly terrible. Like, the first two acts, I was kind of enjoying myself, and I was like, you know, this is actually kind of fun. The third act is just stupid. Like, there was some cool action moments in the final act. It felt very brief, though. Like, it honestly, like, the fight that occurs between two characters felt like it should have been way longer. It kind of just happened. It was like, that's really cool. And then it was over in, like, about 2 minutes, probably, not even. So I felt like some aspects of the movie felt kind of rushed, and the detective work just really wasn't there. So I was kind of disappointed by some of the aspects of the movie. I mean, disappointed is not the right word, because... Anyways, but, yeah, I don't know, like I said, there was definitely a lot of issues with the movie, but I was entertained. Like, I enjoyed myself. If you're a hardcore or just, like, a fan of Pokemon in general, you're probably gonna have fun with this movie. You're gonna enjoy yourself, and that's cool. I'm just not a fan of the series, so I didn't have that love for everything that was on screen. Like I said, the CGI for me was kind of all over the place. Some Pokemon Pokemons looked really good. Like Pikachu, for example, he looked great in this movie. His CGI was definitely the best. The hair on him was very realistic looking. And then you have other Pokemons like Mewtwo and Psyduck, who just looked so like weird. Especially Mewtwo, he looked awful in this movie. Or she, I don't know what it is. That character looked really bad in this film. The CGI just was so unrealistic, and there's one twist with that character that just, it was bad. What else? Oh yeah, Psyduck. Psyduck is an annoying character. This is basically the Jar Jar Binks of this movie. I only know the character's name because they say it like a billion times in this film. But yeah, Psyduck, not a good character. Yeah, Jar Jar. And yeah, I don't know. Like I said, I was entertained by this movie. I would not go see it again. I would not get it on Blu-ray. But I was entertained. I enjoyed myself. Am I glad I saw it? Sure, I enjoyed myself. Like I said, I mean, I don't want to go see Avengers Endgame again. I don't feel like I need to see it again at this point. There's other movies coming out this month I can't wait for, like John Wick's next week. Godzilla's the big one for me at the end of this month. So I'm looking forward to those. This was just like a nice kind of in between, like, you know, what do you call it when you're at a restaurant and you have like appetizer. This was a nice little appetizer before the main course and the freaking dessert comes. So yeah, I don't know. I'm gonna give this movie a 6 out of 10. That's actually the exact same rating that my friend Aiden gave this movie. We pretty much agree on that. I think the saving grace in this movie is definitely Ryan Reynolds' Pikachu. He was pretty good. I didn't think there was enough action in this movie, by the way. Like, the action sequences when they were there were really cool. There's one in particular between Pikachu and Charizard that was a pretty awesome fight. Like, I thought it was really well done. But then there was just other fights that just didn't really, the final one, like I said, was way too short. So I think they could have kind of improved on that aspect. If there is a sequel to this movie, or if there is like another live-action Pikachu film or Pokemon film, I would probably go see it just because, like I said, I enjoyed myself with this movie. I just didn't think it was great. So here you go, guys. Those are my thoughts on Detective Pikachu. Let me know down below what you thought of this movie if you guys checked it out. And I'll see you guys next time where I'll be reviewing John Wick Chapter 3. I'm really looking forward to that one. And yeah, thank you all for watching this.